So what's your favorite weapon from any first-person shooter video game? For example, Far Cry, Call of Duty, Halo, Titanfall, Destiny, etc. Mine is actually the UMP45 back in Modern Warfare 2, but what is yours? Let me know right now in the comment section below. How's it going, Amigo Army? I'm SuperRebel, and today we are going to be talking about the Far Cry 4 map compared to Far Cry 3's, because I know a lot of people out there have kind of been getting confused about this, and especially by the term denser. So today we are going to go a bit more in depth on that, and hopefully by the end of the video you guys will have a rough understanding on just how insanely awesome Far Cry 4's map's going to be. And as always, if you guys could be awesome enough just to drop a like below, that would be great. But now sit back, relax, and let's get straight into the Far Cry 4 video. So although we have already been told that Far Cry 4's map is pretty much going to be the same size as the one we got to explore in Far Cry 3, it is also going to be a lot more denser. And this is according to the game's senior level designer, who goes by the name Vincent, who said at EGX that we should expect this game to take a lot longer to fully explore compared to the last game, thanks to there being so much more to do, coupled with an increase in both highs and lows in terms of the terrain. And his words were that the main world is roughly the same size as Far Cry 3, but it's a lot more dense in terms of how many activities, points of interest and civilians there are. And he continued to say, on top of that we also have the arena, which you can play identitatively, and we got the Himalaya missions on top of the mountains, as well as Shangri-La, which lets you explore the myths and legends of the beliefs held by the people in Kyrat. So taken all together, the general offering is much bigger. Now firstly, if you guys are wondering what the arena is, it's basically like a little game mode almost, I guess you could say, where you pretty much can have a cage fight one-on-one with an animal or even a human. Now when I say animals, this can vary. For example, it might be a tiger or bear, etc. Now he did also continue to say that in terms of a story as well, in Far Cry 3 the missions were all consecutive and offered a very linear narrative. Now we have multiple parallel threads. So on one side you have AJ's story. He was born in Kyrat and fled the country at a young age with his mother. So coming back 25 years later when his mother dies, and her dying wish becomes that he takes her ashes back to Kyrat. When he gets there, he realizes people know his name. Now you don't know much about it, so one story thread is actually discovering your family's legacy in the country, and then there's another that's more focused on the civil war and the fighting. And even with the missions, they have actually added a lot of concept of choice a lot. For example, at the top of a rebellion, there are a few leaders and they don't always agree which way you should push the country. So one's more traditional and religious, and the other is more oppressive and wants to modernize, I guess you could say. So you can choose which side you want to ally with, and that'll all change sometimes how the mission plays out in terms of the objective, while other times it will change the events. So just from him saying all this, you guys can probably already tell just how completely different this game is going to be compared to the last Far Cry game. Now where he says the map is going to be a lot more denser compared to Far Cry 3's, what he basically does mean almost, I guess you could say anyway, is that the map of this game, of course Kyrat, is going to be a lot more lively. So let's just say you're walking down the street minding your own business, you would just randomly get a call saying that your outpost is under attack, or something really random like that. And all of these little details just really does bring this map a lot more to life, because all this stuff will happen even after you have completed the game, and usually that is kind of a problem with these sort of games. Like once you complete it, it's not really that fun after. It might be fun for like a week or so, like it was in Far Cry 3 for me anyway. It was all fun and games after I completed it for a week, and then I started to get bored, which did kind of suck. But with this game, it's not going to get boring that quick. I would say maybe a couple of months after you have actually finished the story, you can still go ahead and mess around in the game just by yourself, and then don't forget we do have co-op as well. So it's kind of like a win-win situation, so it's gonna be really cool, and I am super excited to see how lively Kyrat really is, because it's gonna be great to come across these random sort of civilian events almost, I guess you could say as well. Because that is definitely going to happen. You will stumble across these random civilian events, and like I mentioned earlier, you might just be walking down the street minding your own business, and you might come across this random civilian event where you see a random person maybe being held hostage, or if not hostage, just overall at a gunpoint, or maybe even a shop being held up by a completely different gang. And all of this is really going to bring the map a lot more to life, and it of course will be your choice whether you walk past and act like nothing happened, or whether you go ahead and choose to stop it. And this is what games like this really need, because like I told you guys earlier, Far Cry 3 was an absolutely amazing game, but it lacked in things to do after you completed the story. So it's good to see that Ubisoft actually has taken on feedback from the last Far Cry game and changed it in Far Cry 4. And even besides all these civilian events, don't forget we have hunting as well, which is actually going to be better than ever with more vicious animals. And of course, the more vicious the animal is, the harder it will be to kill, but the better the reward you will get. And all of these little details, whether it will be, like I said, the civilian events, or whether it will be animals, and even maybe the weather conditions, is really going to make this world feel a lot more bigger than it actually is. And this does include even other civilians talking to each other, the way they are going to interact with each other. So like everyone almost have like a life of their own, like a story of their own. So it's going to be really cool. And then you have the weapons and vehicles, which overall is going to make this game a lot more fun. So guys, that does bring today's video to an end. If you are new to this channel, it was great to have you tune in as well. Thank you for stopping by. Do not forget, if you would like to stay up to date with more Far Cry 4 news, then please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. That would be really appreciated. And of course, you will become an amigo and part of the amazing, awesome, beautiful team. And if you guys did miss earlier's video, we did get some brand new gameplay, so if you missed that, go ahead and check it out. I will leave a link for you in the description below. But with that said, I will see you guys in my next video, which will be tomorrow. But until then, stay awesome, stay beautiful, and adios amigos.